So we first kind of knew about Village Connect through our work with Logan Together and just mapping out what's available for families in the Logan area. And then I actually got to meet Dr. Inez, just had a meet and greet with her and Judy from Village Connect. And from there we just kept in touch and started building that relationship, which was slow and gentle. And just understanding how they work and how we work and seeing if it was a good fit. And eventually we got to meet Sulu as well. And actually we were invited along to the 5th birthday celebration.
That's when I started. Yeah, that's when I feel like I kind of came in and started to get to know the community. And yeah, we had a really little group set up there where I think we had some Play-Doh activity.
Play-Doh
emotions, Play-Doh,
make some faces of emotions,
but mostly just a trap to get people to come and talk to us and play with us. That's what we do best. And yeah, we got to meet lots of little families and just yarn with them and chat to them. But I think I had a really strong connection there, as in my own lived experience of having a child with some developmental challenges and difference in ages, but to children sort of having to hold them, and that complexity of how overwhelming that feels in community when you've got two hands. And I really connected with a mum there, and I just saw that she was really struggling, so I went over and had a yarn with her and asked if I could hold one of her bubbers, and met this amazing mum who was juggling a lot. And I felt like confident to sort of build my cultural understanding of what her challenges were by listening to her and connecting with her. And that was I think that's when I started to feel really connected to the program as well, through listening to the families then.
We weren't really sure what our service at Village Connect might look like. We didn't come in with a preconceived idea of how to work. We knew we didn't want to replicate what was already there, so they did have some therapy in a traditional sense, speech and physio, which was doing amazing work with families, but we wanted to see how we could fit in as well. So we were thinking we could do some individual sessions with families, looking at the well-being of children and families, but also we knew we wanted to do a group, and we just weren't sure what space that group might take up. But pretty quickly we moved towards a parent and child group where everyone could just come in and explore information about well-being together. With food. Connecting.
Food was a big brief.
Food and space to move.
Space to move. And anyone like coming, not just the, parents as such, like aunties, uncles, really inviting anyone to come along that was helpful to that child and in part of that child's life, because that was one thing that was reflected really well in their community, was how they come together and support each other.
Wow, thank you, ladies. That's really a beautiful, amazing work that you guys are doing. Carly, how would you listen to a community in terms of amazing work that you're doing with the Village Connect? How would you say you listen to the community's voices?
I think it's a process that takes some time to sit and build relationships and understand culture. We did some training with Dr. Inez as well around Pacifica culture, which was really important, so that our staff had more of an understanding of their ethos and their approach to health, and what's important for Pacifica families in Logan. And then we kept hearing, as we were listening and having conversations, we kept hearing that a similar message come up about parents with children that might communicate or play differently to other children. They might have older siblings, and this baby plays different or hasn't started talking yet or communicates differently. And there was a certain amount of barriers there to accessing help, and that came down to availability of health staff or maybe citizenship status that prevented them from accessing more formal support. So we were really keen to support that space, because when you have a young one with you know, some differences in development, that can impact on how you might feel like parenting, or how you might connect with your community as a larger group. So yeah, we talked with Sulu, we listened to families, and we started to bring together this idea of a group that looks at milestones and celebrate difference. And so Taimi Whailonga was created in collaboration, and is still in an evolution of inviting families in to talk about their child and talk about their parenting. And we do that with clinicians and lived experience and our community connectors at Village Connect, all together with food.
With food.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what I really felt connected to in the group as well, with meeting that mum. And it brought me back to a place in my lived experience, in my parenting role, where I felt isolated and really challenged. And this was well before NDIS, so I was able to bring back those feelings and the resources and some of the ideas around what was helpful for me, because we didn't have NDIS when I was parenting my daughter, when I was going through the same journey. And I think we use some of that to kind of influence a group. It's like, okay, well, how do we do this? What's important? And I think by listening to, you know, having the clinical support through you and Mel with the nursing and the speech lens and the developmental, but also the lived experience, then coming in and going, okay, well, what is helpful? What can families access? And also bringing that into, you know, having Sulu's connection through the culture and being able to name the group and tell us how families interact and what barriers there are for health. I think that sort of really cemented some of that ideas, and that's how we were able to create the group. And I think, yeah, it's just such a fascinating place. And, you know, when we can work together in that space, it's huge. We can meet families where they're at. We going into their space where they've got connections, where they've got supports already, and building on that through our own experiences of lived experience